Imagine a world where compassion isn't just a feeling, but a way of life, where peace isn't just a distant dream, but a force we actively create. Angelina Jolie's journey with the Qur'an is a testament to the power of spiritual awakening, how the wisdom of an ancient text can transform a life already dedicated to helping others. Today, we're not just talking about a celebrity or a humanitarian. We're exploring a profound shift in one person's soul, a transformation that inspires us all to be better, kinder, and more connected. Let's dive into a story of purpose, love, and change. Angelina Jolie's life has been one marked by extraordinary transformation, evolving far beyond her initial rise to fame as an actress. Early on, she was known for her roles in films like Girl, Interrupted, and Lara Croft. Tomb Raider, gaining a reputation for her bold performances and captivating presence. However, what many didn't see at first was the deeper calling she felt to make a significant difference in the world. Over time, this desire to contribute to something greater led her to take on a more prominent humanitarian role. Her journey as a humanitarian began when she was appointed as a Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees (UNHCR) in 2001. This marked the beginning of her shift away from Hollywood and toward global advocacy. Traveling to war-torn regions like Cambodia, Sudan, and Sierra Leone, she witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of conflict, displacement, and poverty on millions of lives. Her work allowed her to connect with people from diverse cultural backgrounds, many of whom were experiencing unimaginable hardship. Through her travels, Angelina became deeply committed to the plight of refugees and displaced persons. This dedication led her to be promoted to the role of Special Envoy to the UNHCR in 2012, where she focused on complex crises involving large-scale displacement. Angelina's personal connection to the people she met became the cornerstone of her advocacy. As she didn't just speak about the issues, she lived them, listening to the stories of those suffering and amplifying their voices on global platforms. While her career in film and humanitarian work began as separate journeys, they have since intertwined. Her passion for both acting and advocacy has given her a unique platform to inspire change and continue her mission to bring attention to those most in need. Angelina Jolie's encounter with the Qur'an was not a moment of sudden revelation, but rather a gradual and meaningful exploration that aligned with her deepening commitment to understanding different cultures and religions. Her journey into the teachings of the Qur'an can be traced back to her humanitarian efforts, particularly her work with refugees in Muslim-majority countries. So these experiences allowed her to connect with people from diverse backgrounds, giving her the opportunity to learn more about their spiritual beliefs, values, and ways of life. In her travels, Jolie came face to face with the real-life implications of the struggles and challenges these communities faced, many of them stemming from conflict, displacement, and societal divisions. Through her conversations and relationships with people of faith, she found herself drawn to the Qur'an, a text that holds a central place in the lives of millions around the world. Her interest was not just intellectual, but also deeply personal, as she sought to understand the values that guided these communities and shaped their resilience in the face of adversity. The Qur'an, with its themes of peace, justice, and compassion, offered her profound insights into the human experience. As someone who had already been exposed to numerous worldviews through her humanitarian work, the teachings of the Qur'an added a new layer to her understanding. She didn't approach it simply as a religious document, but as a source of wisdom, offering guidance for how one can live a life rooted in empathy, understanding, and care for others. Her engagement with the Qur'an went beyond surface-level curiosity. It was a quest for deeper meaning and a way to integrate its teachings into her own life, particularly in relation to her role as a mother, a global advocate, and a person who sought to make a positive difference in the world. The message of the Qur'an is one that resonates deeply with its followers, offering a timeless guide to living a life rooted in compassion, justice, and understanding. For Angelina Jolie, the teachings of the Qur'an offered a transformative power that spoke to her own values and aspirations as a humanitarian. As she engaged with the text, she found its message to be more than just spiritual guidance. It became a call to action in her life's work and personal journey. One of the core themes of the Quran that captivated Jolie was its emphasis on compassion and empathy for others. The Quran teaches that individuals should treat others with kindness, fairness, and respect, regardless of their background or circumstances. These principles aligned with Angelina's own advocacy for refugees and marginalized communities around the world. She found in the Quran's call for justice and support for the oppressed a reaffirmation of her mission to fight for human rights and equality. Moreover, the Quran's teachings on peace struck a powerful chord with Jolie. In her capacity as a global ambassador, she had witnessed firsthand the destructive impact of conflict and war on communities. The Quran's advocacy for peace, understanding, and reconciliation became a source of inspiration for her to continue her work in conflict zones. The text encourages resolving differences through dialogue and respect rather than violence and division, providing a spiritual framework that urged her to pursue peaceful solutions in her own endeavors. In addition to peace and justice, the Quran's message about the inherent dignity of every human being further deepened Jolie's commitment to making a meaningful impact. Through the Quran's lens, she recognized the importance of seeing each individual as worthy of dignity and compassion, reinforcing her dedication to fighting for the rights and humanity of others. One of the most profound and universal messages of the Quran is its emphasis on tolerance and peace. These themes deeply resonated with Angelina Jolie as she engaged with the text, particularly in her role as a humanitarian and global advocate. Having worked extensively in regions affected by war and conflict, Jolie had witnessed the devastating effects of intolerance and division. In the Quran, she found a message that spoke directly to the need for unity, understanding, and peaceful coexistence among diverse communities. The Quran teaches that all people are equal in the eyes of God, regardless of their race, nationality, or religious beliefs. And this emphasis on equality and mutual respect encouraged Jolie to approach her humanitarian work with an open heart and a deep respect for cultural differences. The Quran calls for respect between different religious groups and promotes understanding over judgment, urging people to engage with one another in ways that foster peaceful dialogue rather than conflict. For Jolie, these teachings about tolerance became especially significant as she interacted with Muslim communities around the world. She learned to appreciate the value of interfaith dialogue, recognizing that mutual respect among diverse groups is essential for building a more harmonious world. The Quran's message of peace also extended beyond mere coexistence. It advocates for resolving conflicts through understanding and reconciliation, offering a framework for healing and rebuilding after periods of violence. In her personal and professional life, Jolie has often spoken out about the importance of bridging cultural divides. The Quran's teachings on tolerance gave her further strength to continue this mission, reminding her that peace isn't just an absence of conflict, but a presence of understanding, respect, and compassion among all people. Understanding, respect, and compassion among all people. For Angelina Jolie, engaging with the Quran was more than just an intellectual pursuit. It was a profound spiritual awakening that transformed her understanding of life, purpose, and connection to the world around her. As someone who had already dedicated much of her life to humanitarian causes, Jolie found that the teachings of the Quran offered a deep well of guidance that resonated with her on a deeply personal level. The Quran's emphasis on inner peace, reflection, and spiritual growth invited her to explore new dimensions of her own spiritual journey. Before encountering the Quran, Jolie had already sought meaning through her humanitarian work, where she often found herself questioning the complexities of the world. Yet the Quran provided a framework that helped her reconcile her inner spiritual life with the outer demands of global advocacy. Its teachings about submission to a higher power, patience in the face of hardship, and the importance of inner purity were particularly impactful for her. The idea that peace begins within the self, and that true transformation starts with an individual's heart and mind. As she continued to explore the text, Jolie discovered the Quran's messages on mercy, forgiveness, and self-discipline, which offered her a fresh perspective on her own life's challenges. The notion of personal accountability, coupled with the reminder to act in service of others, further aligned with her values and expanded her sense of responsibility toward the world. This spiritual awakening was not just about a change in belief, but a shift in how she viewed her role in the world, encouraging her to live with greater humility, compassion, and a deeper understanding of human interconnectedness. Angelina Jolie's engagement with the Qur'an provided her with a unique perspective that deepened her understanding of cultural differences. As a global humanitarian, she had already worked closely with people from various backgrounds, many of whom were from Muslim-majority countries. Her travels to conflict zones and refugee camps had exposed her to a wide range of cultures, traditions, and belief systems. However, the Quran gave her a deeper insight into the Islamic faith, offering her new ways to appreciate and respect the complexities of diverse cultures. And through the teachings of the Quran, Jolie came to understand that cultural differences are not barriers, but opportunities for growth and mutual respect. The text's emphasis on understanding and empathy encouraged her to approach cultural diversity with an open heart. Instead of seeing differences as something to fear or judge, she saw them as a source of strength and enrichment. The Quran's teachings helped her recognize that while people may follow different religious practices or cultural traditions, they share fundamental values such as love, justice, and a desire for peace. Jolie's exposure to Islamic culture through her work with refugees allowed her to appreciate the beauty of these traditions, and the Quran reinforced her understanding that these beliefs are deeply intertwined with the way people live their daily lives. Quran's universal messages of kindness, respect for others, and the importance of family helped her see the common humanity that connects all people, regardless of their cultural or religious backgrounds. This deeper understanding of cultural differences also informed Jolie's work in global advocacy. She became more attuned to the needs, values, and struggles of the community she worked with, and was better equipped to engage with people from different cultural contexts in a way that respected their beliefs and traditions. Angelina Jolie's encounter with the Quran sparked a significant personal transformation that influenced her perspectives on life, relationships, and her broader role in the world. Before discovering the Quran, Jolie was already a well-established figure, known for her high-profile acting career and her extensive humanitarian work. Yet it was through the teachings of the Quran that she began to experience a deeper shift in her personal values and outlook on life. Text's profound emphasis on humility, self-reflection, and accountability encouraged her to examine her own motivations and approach to both her career and her charitable endeavors. The Quran's message of self-discipline and spiritual purification became especially meaningful to Jolie as she sought to navigate the pressures and expectations of her public life. Teachings of the Quran reminded her that true strength comes from inner peace and a commitment to higher moral standards, rather than external achievements. This realization led her to focus more on her personal integrity and the impact of her actions, rather than just the attention or accolades they might garner. The Quran's emphasis on charity and helping the less fortunate resonated deeply with Jolie's existing humanitarian efforts. As she continued to absorb its messages, she found that her compassion for others grew even stronger, influencing the way she approached her work with refugees and displaced communities. The teachings encouraged her to lead by example, modeling selflessness and empathy in her interactions with people from all walks of life. This personal transformation also extended to her role as a mother. The Quran's guidance on family, love, and nurturing relationships provided Jolie with a new perspective on how to raise her children in a world filled with complexities, inspiring her to foster an environment of kindness, respect, and understanding within her own family. Angelina Jolie's engagement with the Quran also deepened her commitment to interfaith dialogue, a vital aspect of her work as a global humanitarian. Throughout her humanitarian efforts, she has worked in regions with diverse religious populations, many of whom adhere to Islam. Through these experiences, Jolie recognized the importance of fostering understanding between different faith communities, and the Quran's teachings gave her a framework to engage in more meaningful, respectful conversations. The Quran itself emphasizes the importance of mutual respect between people of different religious traditions. It promotes peaceful coexistence and encourages believers to engage with others in a manner that is understanding and compassionate. This focus on respect for diversity became a powerful tool for Jolie as she navigated complex geopolitical and religious landscapes. As a public figure with access to global platforms, Jolie felt it was her responsibility to promote greater understanding and reduce the divisions often caused by religious and cultural misunderstandings. Jolie's work with refugees, many of whom are Muslim, further highlighted the importance of interfaith dialogue. She found that her knowledge of the Quran allowed her to engage in more profound, open conversations with people from diverse religious backgrounds. By learning more about the Islamic faith and its core principles, she was able to connect with others on a deeper level, fostering a sense of unity rather than division. The Quran's teachings about empathy, tolerance, and dialogue encouraged her to build bridges of understanding across religious divides. Through her actions, Jolie demonstrated how faith, when understood and respected, can be a powerful tool for peace. Her efforts in interfaith dialogue not only provided her with a better understanding of the Muslim faith, but also empowered her to advocate for harmony and cooperation among the world's various religious communities. Angelina Jolie's exploration of the Quran also deeply influenced her role as a mother, shaping her approach to parenting and her understanding of family. The teachings of the Quran, particularly those related to love, compassion, and responsibility toward one's children, offered Jolie new perspectives on raising her children in a world that can often feel divided and uncertain. As a mother of 6, Jolie had already prioritized her children's well-being and emotional growth, but the Quran's guidance provided additional insights into how she could nurture their spiritual and moral development. The Quran emphasizes the importance of family, urging parents to provide love, support, and care for their children, while also teaching them values of patience, kindness, and humility. These teachings resonated deeply with Jolie, who saw them as a reminder of the responsibility parents have in shaping the future of the next generation. The Quran's emphasis on fostering an environment of respect, patience, and understanding in the home aligned with Jolie's desire to create a safe and nurturing environment for her children, where they could grow emotionally and spiritually. Furthermore, the Quran's message of selflessness and dedication to others reinforced the values of kindness and empathy that Jolie wanted to instill in her children. It reminded her of the importance of teaching her children not only about love within their family, but also about extending that love to others, especially those in need. The Quran's teachings about helping the less fortunate and acting with justice also inspired Jolie to raise her children with a sense of responsibility toward the world around them. Ultimately, the Quran's guidance on family life and parenting provided Jolie with a spiritual framework that reinforced her commitment to raising her children in a way that was grounded in love, compassion, and a deep sense of social responsibility. Angelina Jolie's engagement with the Quran has not only shaped her personal life, but has also influenced the broader legacy and impact she continues to build as a global humanitarian. The teachings of the Quran have reinforced her commitment to advocating for peace, human rights, and social justice, all of which are central to her ongoing work with refugees and displaced communities around the world. As she uses her platform to raise awareness about global issues, out for the voiceless and marginalized. One of the key aspects of the Quran that influenced Jolie was its emphasis on justice and the importance of standing up for those who cannot defend themselves. This concept aligns closely with her advocacy for refugees, where she has consistently used her voice to push for better policies, protection, and resources for displaced persons. The Quran's teachings about compassion, fairness, and the rights of the oppressed gave Jolie a deeper sense of purpose in her humanitarian work, motivating her to act as an agent of change in both her professional and personal life. Additionally, the Quran's focus on reconciliation, peace, and healing in the aftermath of conflict is a message that Jolie has embraced as she seeks to bring communities together. She has spoken often about the need to build bridges and foster dialogue between different groups, and the Quran's emphasis on unity and understanding has shaped her approach to resolving global crises. Through her advocacy, Jolie has demonstrated how the teachings of the Quran are not just abstract principles, but living, breathing values that can have a transformative impact on the world. Her legacy is one of compassion, justice, and a deep commitment to promoting peace, values that continue to guide her as she navigates both her personal and professional journey. Angelina Jolie's journey with the Quran has been transformative, not only shaping her personal growth, but also amplifying the values she lives by in her humanitarian work. The teachings of the Quran, emphasizing compassion, justice, tolerance, and peace, have inspired her to continue advocating for those in need, bridging cultural divides, and raising her children with love and integrity. Her story reminds us that personal transformation can lead to a greater impact on the world, and the wisdom we gain can guide us toward making meaningful change. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for your time and attention. May we all continue to grow in understanding and kindness.